Do your eyebrows.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, I'm Claire.
And we are
Hi Jinx.
And we are in the state of New York. We are about an hour outside of New York City, or just a little bit more. We've come to a beautiful, beautiful distillery called Dennings. It is
Dennings Point Distillery. We are in Beacon, New York, and we have passed at least 3 signs that have said welcome to Beacon.
It is.
I've never felt so welcome in my life.
It's such a beautiful town. It's such a beautiful place, and what an amazing little setup they've got here to sort of honour it. They've got some really, really interesting products. So they make gin, they make bourbon, they make whiskey, they make their own brandy, and they make their own vodka. They've got lots of different products going on, and some of them are really quite individual and unique. So we're going to go Gin-dividual, very good. Master of the puns. So we're going to
tell I'm jet lagged.
I know, it's awful. Just calm down. We're going to try some of their kind of benchmark gin. It's called Great Nine, and
named after, I believe, the 9 botanicals. And also there was something else I read about it being Great Nine. It was named after the original land grant Great Nine Partners patent.
Great. And Great Nine because after having 1 gin and tonic, you want the other 8 as well.
Exactly.
I'm sure that's exactly what it means as well. Let's try a little bit of it neat. We like shot glasses. I grew up in Essex, in the south of England, and we drink everything out of shot glasses.
And I grew up in New Zealand, so
yeah,
there we go. Right. Really, really smooth on the nose.
Yeah.
Bit of sweet citrus in there.
Yeah, and not overly juniper laden, which sort of promises as well. Like, you know, it's not sort of like aggressively trying to be like, I'm a gin. Yeah. It's it really sort of celebrates a balance of botanicals.
Yeah.
In it.
Which I believe is sort of the emerging American gin style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
you
really,
get
really
more
lovely.
juniper,
There's a journey. There's a real journey. You get the sweet citrus, and then it sort of trickles backwards with
hits the tip of your tongue.
Down.
Just the flat at the front of the tongue first, which is the initial sort of junipery sort of slightly herbaceous hit, and then as it sort of, you get sort of sweet notes, it sort of drifts back along the tongue and sort of finishes with what I always think is, people think is weird, is a creamy note, but it's actually almond, isn't it? That's the thing, that sort of nut feel.
I think we're discovering that we love a gin with a bit of almond in it.
It's just a brilliant thing that sort of binds all the flavours together.
Gives it a mouthfeel that's particularly nice.
Yeah, exactly. And it just completes it. Like, the best thing, you know, it's why people like sweet and sour food. You know, some people even like pineapple on their pizza.
I do.
You monster. You complete monster.
We'll sort this out later.
But it's a real journey. So instead of, you know, having all of one different sort of taste sensation, you kind of feel kind of battered away by it. You get that sort of full journey. And in one sip, like, you get a full satisfaction.
I was just going to say, very satisfying.
Yeah, and that's
very complete.
That's a sort of clever thing to do with, you know, 9 different botanicals. I mean, you think like 9 ingredients for like trying to make a pizza, you'd struggle, you know, to get to do a pizza with 9 ingredients, you know, flour, you know, whatever. And so to get something that has 9 botanicals in that can have that sense of completeness, you've got to be really selective.
And also the journey is really interesting. It's like when I talk about my gobstopper gins, because the flavour changes and develops. That's what I really like about this one, because you take a sip and you're not just getting one thing, you get a progression. We
should clarify the gobstopper is from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you know, the gobstopper that is like the 3-course meal.
Exactly.
And there's a bit of a 3-course meal.
Yes, exactly.
Going on here, you really
get your dessert first.
Yeah, which is weird way around, but I like that. I like that. Should we should we do what? Should we oh yes.
We have a suggested serve.
This is one we made earlier. So it's not actually a tonic. This is grapefruit soda. And the interesting thing, again, if you think about soda, it's sweet. But it's mixed, it's made of grapefruit, which has that very sort of citrus, sort of sour, almost bitter quality to it, but sweet perfumes like over the top. And just out of all the citruses, is one of the oiliest as well. So then has that sort of kind of level of depth to it. So it's quite an interesting choice. Again, it's sort of as multifaceted as the gin. So you
can get away with using a soda with a gin that's this dry as well, I think.
You see, because the danger with it is, which it doesn't, but the danger is that it ends up being sort of a bit of everything, and you get this, that, and the other. and you don't get that with this. You get it all. It does all sort of make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I like this. This is super refreshing.
You know, it's like your nan when you go around for dinner with your nan, and she makes the vegetables 3 days before, and then there's a lamb, and then there's like another bit of cooking process, and she's cooking it every single day for the 5 days before you come round. She's so excited, and it ends up not sort of coming together. Whereas this has 9 botanicals in the gin. It's got sweetness, it's got sour, it's got almost savoury notes, and yet it sort of still comes together into a whole. So that's quite a clever sort of balancing act.
It's absolutely brilliant. And this is lovely as well. But I'm going to put this to the side temporarily because it's very refreshing. But we have a second suggested serve. Now, there is another magical little product here.
Made of the meadow.
Vodka with herbs and honey.
Made of the meadow, that's a pun. Is that a pun? Made of the meadow, it's really good. It's like, as in it's made of the meadow, it's the stuff that's from the meadow.
I see.
But it's...
Right, finish your gin. Gee, I can't believe I'm having to tell this guy to finish his gin. What's going on?
We're drinking so much gin out here. I'm just trying to pace myself, you know. Okay.
So this is exactly what it says on the bottle. It's vodka with some herbs and honey. Smells absolutely lovely. Smells like something that's going to make you feel better.
I don't smell sugar though,
smells
which
like
is
a
really
hug.
nice. I don't smell... The honey, like the kind of aroma of it comes through as like the champion of the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. The aroma, but there's no intense sugariness. And this is still at 40%, a respectably alcoholic product. There's nothing liqueur or sort of
to compare, like to the gin's 45%.
Oh yes, we should mention that.
So it's not a massive drop down to 40 to incorporate, something as strong as a honey. Sort of botanical and the other kind of sweet elements in it. It's not a massive sort of, many sort of gin vodka liqueurs kind of drop all the way down to mid-20s, even lower in terms of an ABV. This has at 40%. That's why it balances that sweetness out. With
it's very much a vodka, but it's a very smooth product. And I guess the herbs in here also would counteract any excessive sweetness of the honey as well.
Yeah, what are the herbs that are in it? Lemon balm, raspberry leaf.
Ooh.
Roasted root, yeah.
Roasted root.
Yeah. So you've got that depth within that to sort of offset the kind of roasted root. Calm down.
Sorry.
Calm down.
I've not had enough sleep. We're in a different time zone.
Different time zone. Gin time zone. Yeah.
So, and sorry, I forgot because I'm cheating. We did actually try this one before. I said I would actually love to drink this with some blue cheese.
Yeah.
But the reason that we are tasting a vodka, hashtag hijinks drinks vodka, I mean, it's not just because we were in Poland last week. We're also drinking it because this is our second suggested serve for Great 9 Gin. So, we are mixing these two a la martini.
So, the comment from the gin... from people who tried it initially, because we like gin and tonic, but another great way of serving gin is as part of a martini, and it's a kind of people like their martinis so many different ways. And the thing I would say about Great 9 is it's delicious. It's a very dry gin, and so in terms of making it into a martini, it's potentially something of an acquired taste. I love my dry gins. I like them, really, but sometimes that's kind of a lot for people to handle. And so I think it was sort of found by accident that if you sort of mix two sort of brother and sister spirits, gin and vodka, you get something that sort of approximates a slightly sweeter martini, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Let's have a go.
See, that's just beautiful. They work so beautifully together.
And you think you get the kind of slightly citrus laden, the sweetness of the citrus in the with the kind of orange element sort of locks in with the honey and sort of then allows the sort of more savoury notes to kind of release. So it also, again, could we call it androgynous? I don't know. You love the word androgynous. You love it.
I know.
I'm not sure.
But it's got the dry element and then also the sweetness. So I think
I'll let you have it.
I feel like I would drink one of these after dinner with a cheese platter with some blue cheese, some goat cheese. would work beautifully, I think.
Yeah, they also, as I said before, they also make bourbon. They make brandy. And there's a lot of kind of crossover in the process, and different distilleries use the same barrels for different things. So you end up having a sort of signature sort of thread through an entire distillery in terms of their sort of flavour palette. But you end up here with something that they do taste very distinctive and very different, and enjoyable in their own right. I don't sit there and go, oh, that's their version of a vodka, or that's their version of a gin. I couldn't have predicted, having drunk the Great Nine, that the Maid of the Meadow would taste in the way it did, because it's so distinctive in a very different way. You get some distillers who sit there and go, I really like sage, so I'm going to put sage in everything. And then you sort of taste it and you go, well, that's
this is one that's appreciating each product for what it is and maximising the potential of each spirit.
Yeah, and there's kind of the wheat that's put into it, I believe, is local. So there's an element of celebrating, and the honey that's used.
Yes, local wildflower.
Yeah,
honey.
exactly. It's from nearby, and so there's that sort of connection with the local community as well. And I believe that this is in this specific area, it's a sort of flagship sort of distiller, and so it's got to have that sort of identity to sort of make it all work. But they still, the product, I believe, kind of distributes far and wide across America. So people love that. But I think this is really interesting.
Perhaps we'll have to bring them to the shores of the UK.
I think we might have to bring a little doggy bag over to the UK.
Absolutely.
It is so delicious. And we've tried, as I say, just to recap, we've tried it gin neat, we've tried it with grapefruit soda, we've tried honey, and everything's delicious and very, very different.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been no compromise in the product.
It's a versatile product.
Yeah, but there's been no compromise to make it feel like it's their version of a gin, or their version within a remit. They just sort of went, we're going to make a really good gin, and then we're going to make a really good vodka. And I suppose if we were trying bourbon and brandy as well, they're probably also really good, faithful bourbons and brandies.
Yeah.
It's not sort of like, it's got what I call no ego. It's not like, this is our product, this is our sort of staple base, and we're going to slightly shoot off that and make something that's a bit like a gin, but it's basically still our drink, and that's a bit like a vodka, but it's still our drink. They've gone all out and said, we're just going to make the best version of each drink that we can. I really respect that.
I think it's extremely well done. I'm enjoying this
really
a lot.
high quality stuff. Really beautiful.
I'm looking forward to getting back to my gin and grapefruit. Cheers. Everybody.
Fine. We'll do a fade off of that.
I'm leaving that in.